Do you believe that some jobs don't just pay you with money, but also cost you pieces of your soul? If you think that sounds dramatic, then sit back, dim the lights, and listen carefully. Because tonight, I'm going to share with you one of the strangest and most chilling true stories I've ever heard. It's about a man named Jeff, a 28-year-old DJ who thought he was just spinning records at an old college radio station. But what he discovered was that the job came with rules you could never break. And let me warn you now, if you ever find yourself working the night shift at a place like this, you better remember every single one. Because if you slip up, even once, the station will take you. Before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a story like this. And leave me a comment at the end telling me, would you ever take a job with rules this terrifying? Now, let's step into the booth. Jeff wasn't a normal DJ. He didn't play at wild clubs or loud bars. He worked at a vintage college radio station, a place that seemed frozen in time, tucked away in the corner of campus like a relic from the past. The kind of station that smelled like old wood and coffee stains, with vinyl records stacked higher than your head. By day, Jeff was a communications teacher. He taught students about radio, sound production, and how to use their voices. But at night, he became something else. The keeper of the airwaves, the voice that floated into the darkness, playing 70s disco tracks, crackling through radios, in dorm rooms, diners, and even cars driving down lonely roads. At first, it felt like a dream job, but then, Jeff learned about the rules. They weren't written down anywhere. No handbook, no official orientation. Instead, they were whispered, passed down from one DJ to another, like secrets too heavy to carry alone. At first, Jeff thought they were just old traditions, superstitions, maybe even pranks. But then, he realized, these rules were all that kept him alive. There were 4 of them. 4 rules you never broke. And tonight, I'm going to tell you what happened to Jeff and then why those rules exist. Rule number 1 was simple. Stay inside during your entire shift. That's it. Don't go out, not even for a second. Now you might think, why would that be a problem? It's just a radio station, right? If you need fresh air, why not step outside? Well, that's what one DJ did years ago, and he never came back. His name was Carl. He was in his mid-20s like Jeff, and he loved the night shift. He would joke about it being his kingdom, the quiet halls, the stillness, the power of controlling the music that echoed through the night. But Carl had a bad habit. He liked to smoke, and one night he couldn't resist. He left a record spinning on the turntable and stepped outside for a quick cigarette. Just 5 minutes, he thought. What harm could it do? The thing is, the radio station was right next to a graveyard. A very old graveyard. Carl didn't come back. They found his pack of cigarettes on the ground and his lighter sitting right beside it. But Carl was gone. Not a trace. No footsteps, no struggle. Just gone. Some people whispered that he was dragged into the graveyard. Others said the dead didn't like silence. And when he left the booth, they claimed him. The official story? He quit and left town. But everyone who worked at the station knew the truth. He broke the rule. And the graveyard took him. So now every new DJ is warned. Once you step into the booth for your night shift, you stay. No matter what. No smoke breaks. No bathroom trips outside. No midnight walks. Because if you do, you won't be coming. Back rule number 2 was even stranger. Keep the show running no matter what. This meant no dead air. Ever. Now, if you've never worked in radio, you might not know what dead air means. It's when there's silence, no music, no talking, nothing, just an empty hum. It feels wrong, unsettling, like something is missing. But at this station, dead air wasn't just awkward, it was dangerous. Jeff learned that the hard way. On his second week, he was nervous. His hands shook as he lined up records and his throat was dry when he spoke into the mic. He was still getting used to the controls, and for just a few seconds, he messed up. The record ended. He fumbled to start. The next one. For about 10 seconds, there was silence, and that's when the phone rang. Jeff grabbed the receiver, thinking it was a listener, but the voice on the other end was not alive. "Hello?" The voice rasped. Jeff froze. The line crackled, filled with static. And then he heard it. A woman's voice. "Why did you stop the music?" she whispered. Her name was Mary Glass. Jeff didn't know it at the time, but Mary Glass was a student back in 1979. She was obsessed with the station. She called in every night, requested songs, and eventually became something like a mascot for the DJs. But one night, she died in a car crash, driving home from listening to the broadcast. And ever since, when the station goes silent, Mary calls. From the other side, Jeff didn't know what to say. He stammered into the phone. I'm sorry, the record," but she cut him off. "Don't stop again," she whispered, "or I won't be the only one calling." And then the line went dead. Jeff's hands shook as he slammed on the next record, filling the air with music again. From that night on, he swore no matter what, the music never stops. Because if it does, the dead get through. Rule number 3 was the most disturbing. Ignore station number 7. This one made no sense to Jeff at first. What was station number 7? He found out by accident. Late one night after his show, Jeff was scanning through the dials on an old radio. And there it was. A faint, static-filled frequency. Station number 7. It didn't sound normal. The voices were distorted, chanting instead of talking. The music wasn't really music. It was noise. Strange, broken sounds that crawled into your head and stayed there. The next day, Jeff asked one of the older staff about it. The man looked pale and said, "Don't ever answer them." Turns out, Station 7 wasn't just a frequency, it was a place. A cult, back in the 70s, tried to run their own radio station. They called it the Dark Station. They used it to broadcast rituals, chants, and recordings of their ceremonies. Until one night, the building caught fire. Every single member burned inside. But somehow, their station never stopped broadcasting. Sometimes, if you listen late enough, you'll hear them. Whispering, begging, sometimes even calling out your name. But you must never respond. Because if you do, they'll know where you are. Jeff swore. He heard them one night whispering his own name through the static. He turned the dial, slammed the radio off, and never touched Station 7 again. Finally, there was rule number 4. Leave a cup of coffee by the door at the end of your shift. This one seemed silly to Jeff. Why coffee? Who drinks it? But every single DJ before him had done it. Black coffee, no sugar, left right by the door when the sun was about to rise. Jeff thought it was just a superstition, until the night he forgot. That morning he was tired. He wanted to get home. He didn't bother making the coffee. He just grabbed his bag and left. But the next day when he returned, the station was a mess. Papers scattered, records knocked over. The mic left on, broadcasting silence. And on the wall, scratched deep into the wood, was a single word. Coffee. From me. That day forward, Jeff never forgot, and neither should you. Jeff has lived by these rules ever since. He doesn't smoke outside, he never lets the music stop. He ignores Station 7 and he always leaves the coffee. He tells himself it's just part of the job. But deep down, he knows. The station is more than just a building. It's a gate. A fragile balance between the living and the dead. And as long as he follows the rules, the station stays at peace. But if he breaks them, well, let's just say you'd never hear his voice again. So tell me, if you were in Jeff's shoes, would you take the night shift at that station? Could you handle the rules? Or would curiosity get the better of you? Let me know your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure you subscribe for more chilling tales like this. I'll be watching to see who's brave enough to come back for the next one. And remember, never let the music stop.